Hey guys, Slanish Devotee here again. I'm playing against Baharroth, played by Maximum Maximus, and I'm trying out my Colonel Straken a bit again. So we've got Aatrox Prime, Karnath, Iridial, Eloith, and then Barlas. So, that's 3 red by Planet 3, 3 blue by Planet 3, and only 2 greens on the field. So a lot of blue, bit of red, not much green. So, I had a quick look over my hand, and I've decided I'd like to mulligan, and looks like I've got some interesting options there. So, my thoughts here with Straken are, Straken's good at staying alive. Straken bumps up his soldiers and warriors a little bit. Straken's good he's a good Astra Militarum to use non-Astra Militarum units with. So I thought I'd try and make a Space Marine based deck, because Space Marines can stay alive, and they're good sort of mid-range, and a bit of pumping them up would be handy in. They also have a lot of readying effects, and I'd particularly seen the Black Crusade card, We Are the Guard, which is a readying effect for non-Astra Militarum units. So I thought, let's see if I can make something that readies a lot of mid-range Space Marines and uses them to good effect. We'll see. So, a couple of interesting options here. Thinking my way through whether or not I want it to, what I want to do with it. Right, so, no, not ready to begin yet apparently. Come on. Oh, I'm waiting for Stan. Good old Stan. He's a good lad. I enjoy playing against him. So just waiting to see how he'd like to begin with his Baharroth this time. There we go. He starts off with a Fire Prism, a massive Eldar Elite vehicle, 6 cost, 3 command, 3 attack, 7 hit points. It's a tank, it's elite, it's ranged, and after it destroys an army unit with its attack, it can exhaust something else at the planet. So that's a really massive, potent unit there, just able to just knock down things that are facing it really, really well. It's an impressive unit. So I'm thinking through a few things here, trying to decide what my options are. We'll throw out the troop transport because it's a 0 cost limited support. It allows me to bring in a guardsman token at a planet, or if it's a green planet, 2 guardsman tokens, and that's always handy. Straken can bump those up to be 2/2 token units to attack 2 hit points, so that's they're handy. Stan plays the Banner of the Ashen Sky, which is Baharroth's signature support, which allows, after a unit has moved to another planet, you exhaust the support, and I think it's +2 or +3 attack. Might just be +2. So that's great for him, for Baharroth getting a bit of a bonus. It's great for his signature units, the Baharroth Hawks, and often Baharroth decks make as much use of mobility as they can, so I'm sure he'll be able to trigger that many, many times. So opposite his massive elite, I decide to put in my own. 1 cost cheaper, still 3 command, 3/7, but mine says that you cannot target non-vehicle units at the same planet with card effects. So really good for protecting all the units that I'm going to be throwing into it. Now, Stan we'd already played a game before this, so he had to just run off, and he'll be back shortly. Alright, and he's back. And so I put out a Scaling Triguard on that first planet. 1 cost, no, not a green planet, so they're just a 1/1. Minor little planet, but I thought that would give me just a bit of an edge over the Fire Prism, hopefully. And I believe they're protected from being affected by the Fire Prism's effect. I think it's a targeting effect, but also, you know, if he kills them first, he could exhaust the Land Raider. But I have a plan. waiting on Stan to decide if he is going to commit to, well, which planet he's going to commit to. There we go. Alright, he's chosen his planet. Let's see where he goes. I wasn't watching well enough to decide to see where I went, so I'll be interested to find out myself. Planet 1. Okay, so I'm backing up my support here. He goes to Planet 2, which of course you expect with Baharroth. He can always shift over to Planet 2 if he to Planet 1 if he wants to get the extra help in the fight. Yeah, so that's one of the benefits of Baharroth. You can dance around a bit. He can decide exactly what planet he might consider triggering. So I got 1 command, 1 resource, and so did he, so that was kind of even. That's fine. And now, is he going to bring Baharroth over into this fight? And he does, so he does. Alright, so we can assume that the Banner of the Ashen Sky will be triggered as well. Yep, there we go. So extra attack for Baharroth. So he's heading for 4. I think that would make it. Alright, so here we go. He has the initiative. He has no action, but before he can use his ranged attack from the Fire Prism, I'm going to play Repent. So we both have to exhaust our highest cost unit. We each take damage equal to the attack of the other unit, and I'm going to use an Honorifica Imperialis to shield 3 damage to my Land Raider. So effectively, I force his Fire Prism to not shoot at my weak little Shrine Guard, and instead to shoot at my Land Raider, which I can shield. And at the same time I exhaust it during the ranged so that I'm able to control its ability a little bit. He uses a backlash as a shield to try not to hurt it too much, which is impressive. The benefit about Repent is that it's not a targeting ability, so he couldn't use backlash to stop it. And I thought Repent also doesn't require you to use the printed attack value. So I thought it would be quite useful for if, depending on when I was able to use it, if I used it for something like the Space Marine in my hand, if that's my most expensive and it's got a couple of boosts on its attack value, it might be worth using that to swing. So Baharroth decides to swing away at Colonel Straken, which I can understand. That's quite a solid idea. 4 attack. Now, I really wanted to use We Are the Guard for its effect, but a 4 attack hit I just can't weather. So I needed to use the 2 shields there, unfortunately. I really didn't want to. I vaguely recall this game, but it was a while ago, so I'm just watching to see what I do next. So I'm heading for 2 onto Baharroth? Fire Prism. Which was it? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so he's just hadn't quite selected the right card yet. So I'm going for Baharroth there. There is an Iridial on the array, so that seems like a silly idea. Although, well actually, if I put everything onto 1 unit, and then he got Iridial, he could heal everything, but now he'll have to make a choice. So I suppose that does make sense. He uses Gift of Isha as a shield when I swing with my Warlord at Baharroth also. Okay. Now, I'm wondering if the Fire Prism targets, I possibly should have let him swing now that I'm a target enemy army unit. I should have let him. I thought I was so clever using Repent. I should have let him hit the Sakhalem Shrine Guard, target the Land Raider to exhaust it, and then backlash to the Fire Prism, shouldn't I? Wow, what a huge thing to miss. Oh dear, that would have been fantastic. Or is backlash not elite? No, it's when you target elite, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so waiting to see if he's going to stick around or not. And he is. And I have to decide what I'm going to do. I have got the troop transport as an option, but he's going to be able to kill the Shrine Guard, then exhaust. If Baharroth hadn't gone to the planet, I think I might have been in a better position to potentially knock out the Fire Prism. But yeah, if I'd have saved my Repent and used the Backlash, I think that would have worked better. So he hits me with Aatrox, a bit more damage coming down. Captures the first planet, so he's on to a good start. No HQ actions for me, I'm sure there's none for him, so we're done. Okay, next planet down the line is Farron, and I've got a couple of interesting little cards popped in for me. Alright, so trying out the Power first, we've got the Reliquary Tech Marine, we've got the Straken Command Squad, so we've got a couple of options here. Well, one option really, there's only one thing I can do just about. So, I'm kind of going to one is probably going to be a waste. So I have to think, I need to be able to stop him by what is now Planet 2. And then I'm going to be fighting on the back foot the whole time anyway. So I go with a Command Squad, literally just for command, and I put it on Farron looking for resources so I can afford to put out some of my Marines. He's got a Same Man Kinsman, a good solid 1 cost 1/1, but it gains +1 attack, +1 hit point at green planets like my Scalum Shrine Guard would have. And I've got nothing else I can afford to do. So he's got a Warlock Destructor, which ideally I'm sure he'll put on Planet 1. Nice little bully on Planet 1. Yep, there we go. So I have to decide whether it's worth wearing the hit from the Destructor to go to Planet 1 or not. So I'm going to Planet 2, hopefully setting up my Land Raider on what's looking like possibly his win condition. And he's made a decision. Alright. I'll expect him to go to Planet 2, to be quite honest, because he can always move over to Planet 1 to support his Warlock. So I'm at 2 and he's gone to 3, interestingly enough. Further down the line. Still a blue planet though, so he could be thinking of trying to get himself a blue planet. But at least I get some command out of that. I've got some things coming. And I get 1 card and 2 resources. But it's a Blood Angels Veteran, that's always nice. He gets, what is that, 5 cards into resource? Oh, Eldar! Your command is not fair. So my thought with the Power Fist is that if I am able to ready units, that means I'm likely going to also have times when I've got lots exhausted and then I can pop one up sort of by surprise. And so the Power Fist would be quite nice to be the one that's popping up every now and then. We'll see if it goes. Maybe the Blood Angels Veterans, I want them to stay up as long as possible because they prevent 1 damage. That might keep them alive long enough to be the one that swings with the Power Fist. I don't have an ambush platform, which of course Power Fist and ambush platform is just ridiculously good. If you look back on my channel, I've got a Shadow Sun game somewhere back there where they had a Salem Enclave, they had the Imperial Power Fist, they had ambush platform, and they were using the Ravenwood escort. So you exhaust the escort on whatever planet it's on and move a unit from that planet to any other planet. And it just meant that Space Marines with Power Fists were just dropping in anywhere at like costs of like 2 for a decent unit hitting with a Power Fist, and just moving all over the place. So he wins Planet 1, Carnath, and uses it to trigger Elwith to dig for some cards. So now he's on 2 blue and 2 red, so I'm in a tough position at the moment. I'm on Iridial, I get to win it, so I'm going to heal my Warlord. I want Straken to be okay as long as possible. Alright, so that's good. So I've got the Land Raider set up there, that's nice. Yeah, that's okay. I had the troop transport, it's green planet, so that helps. That might be why he was avoiding going to planet 2, because he knew that I did have the troop transport available to back up that planet a little bit. And then he wins Elwith, so he effectively gets to search through his top 6 for 2 cards that he wants, which is quite nice. It's a pretty nice thing to be able to do. Okay. So we're sitting on a discrepancy of, what is that, 7 cards discrepancy. He's got 7 more cards than me. That's quite worrying. It's quite a challenge. And then he plays the Hunter's Ploy in the HQ phase. Each player gains resources equal to their highest cost. So I get 5 more resources. I'm at 9 now, which is really cool. And he gets 6 more resources, which brings him to 9 as well. It's an interesting card, that Hunter's Ploy. Clearly he would have liked to have finished off my Land Raider and then played it. So I would have got 2 resources and he would have got 6. But it's just really interesting. So I've got a couple of my Space Marine tricks. I've got a couple of mid-range cost Space Marines. Let's see what we can do with it. Stan gets to go first. So with his new 13 resources and 12 cards, because of course we bumped up to 9 and then we got our new 4 resources for the new turn as well. So just huge. He's got an STC, so that's going to make a huge difference. He's got all that money and now he's got reducers to go with it. So I've got my smaller units, but I'm hoping that with the tricks and things available to them, I can make them worth more. Is sort of the idea here. Of course, we know that in this current sort of state that Conquest is in, the mid-range sort of meta is considered to be a bit of a problem. Swarms are actually still kind of cool. Elites have certainly got heaps of support, but that mid-range is a bit of a danger zone. So I put out my Blood Angels Veteran on planet 1, 3 cost, 1 command, 3 attack, 3 HP. While it's ready, it will prevent a point of damage. It's a good, solid Space Marine unit. He puts out the Elite Wild Rider Viper. Those things are crazy. So it's 2 command, 5 cost normally, but he put it out for 3. 5 attack, 4 hit points. It has mobile, but also whenever something moves from one planet to another, it can go with it. Whether it's your own or your enemies, it will follow along, so it's brutal. I've got a Reliquary Tech Marine, which I put down on the first planet, which is 3 cost, 1 command, 2 attack, 4 HP, gives you a bonus card draw on a blue planet. And then he adds a Star Cannon, which gives his Viper Armor Bane. So it's hitting for 5 Armor Bane, which is pretty darn impressive. I throw the Power Fist onto the veterans. I want to make it unlikely that he wants to go to this planet. And I'm hoping that between Vengeance and Indomitable, I've got a couple of options here that are going to be useful. I'm also thinking that with that setup, I'm on planet 1 now. Next turn, whenever I go somewhere, I'll be bringing that Space Marine with me. And he'll be able to ready with Vengeance at the new planet. But unfortunately, Stan drops a mighty, mighty Wraith Knight onto planet 1, which I believe is a 6 cost. I'm not sure of its stats. I think it's 2 command hammers. I think it's 5 attack and 5 hit points. But it exhausts every non-spirit unit at the planet. So everything of mine is exhausted now. That is very, very tricky. And then he puts a Star Cannon onto the Wraith Knight as well. So that is also getting Armor Bane. And then the ever-present Baeltan Guardians, the 1 cost, 2 command, 1/1. They have the negative ally trait, but there's not enough ally hate. I would love to see some more ally hate in this game. I just feel like it's neat. Another Samhain Kinsman right down the end, so again 1 cost for a 2/2 because it's a green planet, spreading out a really solid command base for Baharroth this game. good mix there, a couple of good strong elites, and then a few nice small cheap units spread out. It's a solid setup he's got there going on. I'm not sure if he paid for his warlock. I'm pretty sure we'll go back and fix that if he's forgotten. I'm going to Taurus with the idea that he's likely to kill a lot of my stuff. He's got a lot of command units out, so surely I should be able to get something in return with Taurus. We will see. So I get a little something, a 1 card, 1 resource, not a lot. Check if he's got any command action. I don't have command action, do I? No, checking for him, I'm sure. Yeah, there we go. Shoot, I forgot to pay for the warlock. So there you go, he's dropping his resources down there. And that was before he'd actually triggered the collection of his command as well, so it was the 1 resource he had left, so it worked out alright. Oh, there you go. Command action, I am popping my troop transport. Interesting. So I think my thought here is, if he swings at them because they are upright, then I'm going to be able to use Vengeance to ready my Blood Angels veterans. And in fact, I might wait until he does the second guardsman. If he kills the first one, I might leave it, and then when he kills the second, if I can stand my veteran at that point and then hit with the Power Fist, will be really, really nice. Will be really solid. And then I should hopefully be able to Indomitable and retreat him home. But we shall see, we shall see. So Stan's considering whether or not to move over Baharroth or the Viper. He has got the Banner of the Ashen Sky for whatever moves across. So they're going to get an attack bump. So that would mean that the Viper, yeah, there it goes, can be a 7 attack, armor bane, no shielding allowed unit, which is just brutally ugly. That's nasty stuff. Okay. Cool. So mobile's done. So we're in command. So we're out of command. We're into combat, and so it's him first on my planet. No actions. If he wins this planet, he wins the game. So it's kind of like, well, good luck to me. Alright, and he swings with the Wraith Knight, and he swings at the Land Raider. And he's clearly wanting to be able to target units. Can't be targeted by an enemy card abilities. He clearly wants to be able to target things at my planet, but I really want the veterans to stay alive, and I've only got the 1 Indomitable. That was silly of me. Oh, well, I suppose one of the big armor bane hitters is down now, so I know I can Indomitable the other big armor bane, and then I might even be able to shield the Warlord, so I think I'm okay. It wasn't terrible. I'm going to attack the Warlord and see if I can convince him to run away. And the Wild Rider Viper surely is going to go for the veteran. Yep, there we go. That's where my Indomitable comes in. Perfect card for that situation. And now I can try and kill the Warlord, I can try and kill the Viper, or I can try and kill the Wraith Knight. Warlord is a good thing to take out. The Wraith Knight is possibly the best, as it's armor bane with the most health on it. The Viper is a very frustrating unit, so I need to think carefully. Guardsman swinging at Baharroth. He's got 10 cards, he's got plenty of shields. I'm sure he can actually deal with this problem if he wants to. He takes the damage. And now my Power Fist is ready to go. So what's Baharroth going to do in the meantime? Giving him something to think about, that's for sure. Interesting. He's not sure what to do. Okay, there exhausts Baharroth, and he runs. Oh, I'm quite happy about that. That makes me think I might be able to take this out. Maybe. Maybe not, but maybe I might be able to win this planet. Okay. Okay. So checking for actions, because I've got none. So this is the thing, if he's got priority on action, I don't want to say alt done to show that I have no action, because I'm actually just waiting to see if he has something first. So I decide to go for the Wraith Knight. It's more expensive, it's got more hit points, but it and the Viper are both hitting for the same amount of armor bane damage, so I figure the Wraith Knight's the more important thing to take out. Now, I kill it, which is fantastic. He's entirely likely to have a Gift of Isha and throw a Gift of Isha into the mix. But he says done at this point, so that's nice. Maybe not. Oh, Gift of Isha, you want to exhaust everything. So it's probably going to come in a second. Or after the Viper swings, maybe. So we have to see what do we do next. Oh, and thank goodness he decides to run away, which means I win a Iridial and I'm not able to heal anything. But it means he can't heal anything either, which is great. So just double check, that's mine. And incredulous, I absolutely did not think I was winning that planet. But I did, I took it. So, oh, thank goodness. Indomitable. Honestly, did I? Oh, I've already used Indomitable, so yes, I must have it in this deck. You're lucky I already used We Are the Guard. Yes, if I'd have kept my We Are the Guard, I would have been able to ready the Veteran and why not the Tech Marine and swing with both of them and smash that Viper, just smash it good. So I would have loved to have been able to do that, because that's the whole point of this deck. So we go down the line to Taras, where Straken swings at the Kinsman. Luckily enough, that kills it. Yeah, absolutely. If he'd had Gift of Isha at that first place, first planet, that would have been really nasty for me. Glorious Intervention would have been a really good thing as well. That's potentially, I've got that in this deck as well. That's the benefit of running Straken, as you get his what's it called? You know, defensive thing. His defensive abilities. I have too many units, or exactly the same number of units, which is terrible. So I can't use Taras, unfortunately. That would have been really helpful right now. But that's alright, I'm okay with that. We're done, we're both done. And end the turn. There we go. Alright, so an Inquisitorial Fortress, very useful card there, just a generically good, helpful card. And a Salamander's Flamer Squad. Obviously I'm running as much readying jankiness as I can here, and so the Salamanders give me some area effect that pings up every time they ready. So theoretically they can area of effect, hit everyone for 1, get readied by something like Vengeance or We Are the Guard, and that causes another 1 damage to everyone who's already been damaged by them. Then they can area effect again. Then if I can ready them again, you know, like that's effectively area effect 3, which is pretty rough, pretty tough, pretty dangerous. And it means they have to spend a lot of shields to stay out. But also it depends, you know, exactly what are they facing me with. If they're big tough elites, sometimes they don't care. So he pays for the Warlock to stay on that first planet, which is great for him, you know, that Warlock's really handy. And I throw in a Inquisitorial Fortress. Oh, that STC. So he uses his STC fragment and puts in another Wild Rider Viper. Oh, things are looking rough. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be able to do on those planets. Yeah, that's really, really tough. It's a win-condition planet for him on planet 1 now, so that's not good for me. I decide I'm going to use the Scalum Shrine Guard to block his Baletown Guardian, stop him getting some extra resources to help him play his tricks. Effectively, I've just played it as a 1 cost, 1 command, 1 attack, 1 hit point. But he counters that with an Earthcast Technician onto the same planet to make sure he does get those resources, and he also gets to dig for an attachment. So that's not helpful. Alright, and he found himself a... He found himself a Samhain Jetbike, which is quite a nasty card, so that's good for him. And I am going to put out the Salamander Flamer Squad at Planet 1. I mean, I've got to fight him off here, so it's my only sort of choice. And I'm very likely going to have to take Straken to this planet. Oh, another Star Cannon. He attaches that to the Wild Rider Vipers, is that, I believe? Yeah, that's good. Can't say much other than that's a good hitty unit. I clearly can't do anything else, so let's see what benefit I'm going to get out of these Marines. Stan's done too, so that's great. Let's move on to setting our dials. Got to go to Planet 1. It's just no option for me. Maximum Maximus has chosen, it says. He's done. Excellent. So obviously I go to Planet 1, and he goes to Planet 1 as well. It's interesting. I'm thinking he didn't want to have to mobile over, because then he'd lose the command. I think that's probably what he was thinking there. Alright, so Straken, the Flamers, and a bunch of exhausted things. But I also have the Inquisitorial Fortress, which is a really good ace up my sleeve. Oh, sorry, it's a Fire Prism. I completely forgot. Awesome. Okay, great. Right, so he wins 3 planets worth of command to my nothing, which is really not helping. He gets, what is that, 4 cards and 2 resources. And I'm going to get rid of that Fire Prism. Goodbye. In the command phase, just because I can. And I suppose he could backlash it, couldn't he? Because I'm targeting, and it's an elite unit. Oh! Oh, no. Moves Nullify to hand, readies. Yeah, there we go. So Nullify was a nice idea, but because the Imperial Guard Inquisitorial Fortress is not an event, it's a support, he cannot stop it with Nullify. So that's fantastic for me, and probably quite frustrating for him. Yeah, it's not Archon's Terror, no, unfortunately, for you in this case. Alright, so that makes things a bit nicer for this planet. That's where Subdual would have been quite useful for him, just to control it just for that battle, and then he probably would have won, you know. Okay, so he's thinking on mobile. Just weighing up whether it's worth taking a couple of hits before everything readies and we fight it out at Planet 1. So he runs with his Warlord and with the Viper. The Warlock is stuck on Planet 1, so it looks like I'm going to get to kill me an Eldar Psyker. Okay, he's done with his mobile, I'm done with the attacks. So Straken gives a +1 attack boost to the soldier, so that's 3 attack going through there. Boom, boom. Oh, I forgot to remind him. Well, hopefully it won't make a huge amount of difference. I'm going to use up that and just shield myself a bit. Use up the backlash as a shield. The Warlock would have survived anyway, so that's fine. And then if it dies now, we're good. Yeah, so effectively came to the same, even if he'd done the correct amount of damage with the salamanders, if I'd reminded him, if I'd actually, you know, insisted on my rules. That's all my own fault. Alright, well, I'm down to 1 resource and no cards, but oh, I remember this. So I get to search for a card, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's some good options here. Those are all cool. All very interesting, nice, cool cards. I like them. I'm going to take Straken's Cunning. It gives me shields. It gives me... it's a neat sort of, not control, but like... It does interesting things with combat math and things. It's good. And then I realized, oh, he's on Baharroth. So I should not have triggered Eloith, because that was dumb. Yeah. I shouldn't have done that. I'm a fool. So I'm very disappointed with myself for that, because that would have been... I mean, I would have drawn 2 cards. It would have been Straken's Cunning, and it would have been Honorifica Imperialis, both of which would have been pretty much useless. But, you know, anyway. So that's a lesson, folks. Always remember to look at where the enemy warlord has committed or is positioned, in case other planetary effects are going to cause problems. Things like Carnath, Planum, those sorts of problems can be really, really bad. Glorious Intervention, that's really nice to see. That's really handy. And another Flamer squad, which is fine. I can do a Flamer squad, and then I've got a Glorious Intervention as well. So, cool. I think that's good. But Maximus gets to go first. So let's see how he's going to start off turn 5. Turn 5. Here we go. Oh, another Guardians. They're just such a good card. So, I mean, I can only do what I can do. Am I thinking of saving it up for later? No, there we go. Put them out. There we go. I've realised I'm on 2 blue. If I get Baharroth, that's 2 green, so I win on the last planet. If I'm on 1 red, I think it's 1 red, so if I get Farron, it's I win on the last planet. So basically, I could only win on the last planet. I do have to stop him at Farron, but other than that, I just need to go to the last planet. So this is the point where I'm going, well, do I drop off all of these guys down on the very final planet? Or do I take them to Farron and set them up and see what I can get ready to go? He's got his STC again. That stupid STC fragment. I love them. I love them so much. And he's got a Mighty Wraith Knight. Now that's solid. That's hard to oppose. So it exhausts all of his things as well, the Wraith Knight, but ouch. Okay, so I go to Planet 1. That's interesting. I wonder why I did that. Probably so I didn't have to discard Glorious Intervention, I'm imagining. That's probably what I was thinking there. I'm probably wanting to get some more cards if possible. He's made a decision, and he says done as well. Thinking, why am I not saying done? What's happened here? Sure, I say it soon. There we go. Oh, no. Now I'm done. There we go. Alright, flip it over. I'm going to planet 1, and he goes to planet 2. Unsurprising, really. He probably expected me to go to 2, to be honest, I reckon. But there we go. Right. Alright, all set up. So I at least get some command here this time. It's not a blue planet, so I don't get to use my Tech Marine to draw any extra cards, but that's really handy. There we go, Terminator armor. That can be quite useful. My idea with this is sort of mid-range, a little bit mid-range Straken Space Marines. So anything that pumps them up and makes them work a little bit harder, especially giving them the elite protection of the Black Crusade Terminator armor card. I still would have liked it to have been called like Ancient Tartarus armor, or whatever the code names of the various Terminator armor classes are. So he mobiles everything out of dodge and just leaves the one non-mobile kinsman there. So I'm going to be able to kill that, in theory. Here's hoping. Otherwise Straken's not going to be pleased. Alright, I managed to kill it. Hooray! And then I should just be able to trigger that. I'm just waiting on him to have an action. Nope, no action. Cool. Trigger that. And everybody readies. Do I need to say trigger? Is that not clear what I'm doing? I'm going to say it. Okay. Ah, Stan didn't know how to do that. So he's relatively new to Octagon, at this point at least. So right, there we go, and it gets rid of a Hunter's Ploy, which would have got him 6 resources and me 4 if he'd have played it. Looks like he would have liked to have played it this turn. I wouldn't have minded getting an extra 4 resources and then another 4 next turn, 8. Yeah, I would have been happy enough with that. Yeah, decent big hand, but I managed to pull a decent card. I'm pretty pleased with that. Okay. Oh, hang on. Yeah, no, we've done an end of turn phase, but actually there's a battle. There's meant to be a battle there first. So all of mine there should have been exhausted. And everything of his except the Wraith Knight should be exhausted, I think. So, how are we going to do this? We're just going to go back? I'm good to just go back. I know what cards I've got coming up next turn, which is a bit rough. Okay. Should he have been exhausted? I don't know. Can't remember. Oh no, he mobiled over from the first planet, didn't he? So he wouldn't have been exhausted. Is there any point in me glorious interventioning? Perhaps I might get to run away. Is that what I'm thinking here? I think that's what I'm thinking. So I'll cause it 2 points of damage, put in a token, and I might be able to kill something. And that's what I'm thinking here. Alright. Cause a minor threat. Oh, removes the damage. Why has he removed the damage? What's happened? Oh, no, it puts it back. Okay. We're getting there. We're figuring it out. We're having a good time. So now I'm trying to think, what do I want to hit with 1 point of damage? Oh, no. Yep, no, it's all good. We get there. I know Iridial's gone, so I'm going to keep hitting at Baharroth. That seems like a good call to me. Try and get Baharroth out of the way. His flexibility is a pain in the bum. But actually, next turn is basically only going to have one place to go anyway. So, oh no, we're on 2. This is not actually Planet 1 yet. This is Planet 2. So they should be exhausted from the Wraith Knight. I mean, seriously, I'm just postponing the inevitable, I know, but so there we go. The Wraith Knight, that's what you want. Yeah, taking out the Salamander. Yeah, the Glorious Intervention was probably a waste, knowing that he was going to die anyway. Probably would have been better with somebody else. Yeah, so he's feeling a bit confused after ending the turn at the wrong time, but I think we'll be alright. We'll get there pretty quickly. So these things did survive. And I'm thinking, do I want to leave them to try and kill something? No, there's no point. Okay. I would have been guaranteed 1 ping of 1 point of damage, I think. Might have been worth trying to put it on that damaged Viper. Might have been worth a try. But, yeah. Bit silly, really. Alright, so I've got this string of things to come with me to Planet 2, but he's got a lot of ready units there, and it's his victory condition for a 3rd material red icon planet. But there we go, the battle is done, and it is now the new turn, deploy phase. Here we go. Just being fussy and finicky about where my cards are on the game. Troop transport. No? I think I'm doing some maths in my head. What can I afford? But the troop transport is free, so it's always worth a go. Fantastic little card. Limited, but oh, so useful. More guardsman tokens for Straken? Yes, please. I mean, in war, Cotiaz is just phenomenal. And it's a support for Maxim, so you know, hooray! What a great card. And he throws out another Warlock Destructor. A turn like this is so perfect for a Warlock Destructor, you know. I decided I'd like to ready a unit. I'm wondering if I'll get a chance to swing with the Power Fist, basically, I think. Potentially would be worth readying the Assault Squad. Not the Assault Squad, sorry, the Salamander Flamer Squad, because then I might be able to yeah, if I can get something like a Vengeance drawn, which I can't because I'm not going to win any command. Oh well, no, pointless. Or We Are the Guard would be perfect. I've gone through almost half my deck, and I think I only saw the one We Are the Guard right at the beginning, which is quite a shame. I was expecting to be able to pull another one at some point. What's going on here? Flips. Oh, he flipped a coin instead of flipping the card. That's right, he'll get there. He will get there. And the Power Fist goes with the Blood Angels. There we go. You know, I'd like to see... oh, Baharroth went down to Planet 2. Also, I do win some stuff, but it's only resources. I'd like to see animated cards in Octagon. Can you do that? So like the Imperial Power Fist, can you make it so that it's like a GIF instead of a JPEG or whatever, so that the electricity around the Power Fist is actually crackling and moving around? That would be really kind of cool. Just little effects like a little flag waving in the breeze, or you know, a fire crackling in the battlefield, you know, those sorts of things. I'd love to see that. Let me know if you can do that, because that would be cool. I'd love to see that. Anyway, so I get the initiative, but he has ranged with the nasty fire prism. Is he going to mobile anything over? I need to wait until towards the end of the round to do the Wraith Knight, so that most of my stuff is exhausted anyway, just in case of a Gift of Isha. He's thinking on mobile. Interestingly, he pulls away both of the Vipers, which I initially thought was very, very surprising. I was like, why have they gone away? But then I realised the Baltan Guardian is sat on a same-hand jet bike, which as a combat action you can exhaust the jet bike itself to move the unit to another planet with the same colour icon. So both these planets are red icons, so you can move over with the same-hand jet bike Guardians, and whenever a unit moves, the Vipers can follow, so they get to come back to planet 1 right then. Okay, so I'm going to deep strike, and I'm going to ready the Blood Angels, because, you know, why not? All done. He's done. He gets ranged first, which I nearly forgot. Stupid ranged. And he goes for a tiny unit. I thought he was going to go for one of the bigger units, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I can survive. But no, you hit the easy to kill unit, even though it's exhausted and otherwise not much of a threat. Because now, there you go. You can exhaust the Blood Angels veterans. Very nice. And now, having range completed, I'm able to swing, but it's just not looking that useful, that great anymore. Go for the Warlock. For 4, given Straken's ability here. So he's got, what, 15 cards he can shield. Oh, and he shields for 3. Oh, just to add insult to injury, just overwhelming. Then the Warlock swings, and what is it? Swings for 3, so it won't kill the veteran. It'll do 2 damage, and I figure, I'll keep it alive a bit longer, see how it goes. Oh no, it's 2 damage because he's not ready. It doesn't prevent any. So I want to keep him alive. I want to see if I can get something out of him. Probably won't be able to, but I want to try. I decide I go for something that I can kill. And eventually he lets it die. Cheeky little 1 ping on my Blood Angels. Not impressed. Not impressed. You think you're clever. It was very clever. I got nothing. I could ping the... throw in 1 more guardsman, but it seems like a waste. Kill off the salamanders with the Wraith Knight. And here we come. Here come the big boys. Really going to cause some damage now. Alright, so the jet bike has to cause a point of damage to a unit at this planet, which means if you send it to a planet by itself, it actually has to damage itself, because it doesn't say an enemy unit or a unit controlled by your opponent or anything like that, so it has to be done. Right, so he pings the 8th Company Assault Squad. And then we're just going to pick through the last few things really quickly. Okay, Wild Rider, kill Straken. Well, bloody Straken. Cool. I can't move the card. There we go. And then what's he going to kill next? 8th Company Assault Squad. And then he's going to go for a little bit of damage on the Tech Marine. Right, I'm going to stay because, you know, I have to, but this is obviously done. But I do like this Straken readying Space Marines business. I think it's a fun little thing. I'm not sure what sorts of things would be better for it. Can you think of any real cards that we already have, whether they are FFG or fan cards, that would fit into this idea of, you know, taking the Space Marines, making them a little bit more useful all the time, readying a lot? Any ideas that would go with that? Or can you think of ideas of what sort of card would be useful in a deck like this? Like, make up a card. What sorts of things should there be that would really help this? I'm thinking Space Marines that have readying effects, mid-cost Space Marines that have readying effects that help, you know, make them worth more than one of the enemy, you know, so that they can go toe-to-toe with elites, but they're also not going to get outdone by swarms, you know, that sort of thing. Something about readying, I think. Or wild ready effects, where they take effect wild ready, like the Blood Angels Veterans. I think that's an interesting space to use. I think that could be quite a good one. Yeah. So he's just picking his way through. I'm picking my way out. This is the dun dance of Conquest. Dun 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 dun. Okay. And do I kill it? Is it enough to kill it? Have I got it close enough to kill it? Oh, he's taking his time. Maybe I have. Maybe it is close enough to kill it. He's got 13 cards, so the odds of him not having it, there you go. 1 Shield Doom card, that'll do. Seemed pretty unlikely. Alright, and next... Come on, roll with it. Takes out the Marine. And next... Come on, just go. Yeah, Viper kills a guardsman, sorry, and Wraith Knight stomp on a guardsman's face. There we go, and boom, big bada boom, GG. Oh, long game, but it was pretty interesting. Some interesting things happening in that one. I'll have to crack out the Straken again more often. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment, say hi, and I'll catch you again next time. Cheers.